bright minds in this country and in this room right now. So I'm particularly excited about the questions that we would get today. To start off this event, I would like to call on Innocent Otobore. He's the Group Head Lending Services Pure Pay Division Interswitch. Please a round of applause for Innocent as he comes forward. Round of applause. Yes, Innocent. Innocent, are you a black belt person? Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to kick off the presentation session today. A lot has been said, and since yesterday, this program has been quite inspiring for me. I'd like to share a thought before I go into my presentation. You know, it actually brings back to mind some of those things we heard when we were growing up, when Oyenka Owenu was saying, Nigeria will survive, Africa will survive. It occurred to me that actually, in actual sense, Africa is before us today. God has given us technology, has given us insight, and has actually given a number of us here the opportunity to be part of the driver, the next phase of Africa, how we move Africa forward. A lot has been said about collaboration. I mean, we hope to see a lot of that. As we run you through our presentation, your inputs are pretty much important. It's also important that we pay attention so we understand, we don't miss a thing, because we're taking this to impact the world as we collaborate. Thank you for the time. So I'm going to quickly run you through my slides. Please, can you put it up? So today I want to share with you about our new product. It's one of the innovators. So my name is Innocent. Let me correct Wayme. My name is Innocent Itobomere. Itobore in short, not Otobore. Okay? And I have the privilege of leading the Interswitch Lending Services and as well as the data service under the leadership of Akim Lawal in Pure Pay. And I say welcome to this wonderful event. So, as mentioned earlier, I want to introduce you to a new product. But first, let me just give you a bit of context. Next slide, please. Now, Africa has been identified as one of the biggest markets. One, because of our fast-growing population, and of course, the adoption rate in terms of how many of us now use mobile phones or on the internet. So we have become an attraction to major investors and players that want to come into this space, right? But there's still a concern. The African market is largely cash and carry driven. Does that in any way signal a problem? I mean, that we will see more into that as we proceed. Looking at the e-commerce space. Excuse me, please. Okay, your clicker is not responding as should. All right, so looking at the e-commerce space, we thought to, let's examine the opportunity. I mean, a lot has been said. Africa is ripe for credit system. Africa credit system is good to go. There's a lot happening in Africa. But in actual sense, do you really know how big these opportunities are? So we thought to look into it. The e-commerce space in Nigeria is estimated at approximately about 4.9 trillion naira today. That is the e-commerce engagement happening. And the projection is that in 2025, we might hit 31 trillion naira. That is massive. But again, I don't want you to look at it from the money aspect. Look at it from a people and business perspective, because we're a solution provider repositioning Africa. This guy has moved me forward. So sorry. Okay, so I'll just let go. So what we're saying is that it's amazing. It's mind staggering when you look at these numbers. In addition to that, we've also realized that there's huge adoption from the youth population coming into this space a whole lot. And it has also been confirmed that the credit deficit in Nigeria alone is in tens of trillions. So if you're not yet in the credit space, there's so much to mine. And that is why we're here today to share this opportunity and product that we're rolling out for you to see and grasp this opportunity. Looking a bit into the problem, we talked about African system being cash and carry driven. As a result, individuals are limited to cash. So I go sit down with a friend, we need to catch some fun, I'm limited to one bottle of drink. I take my wife out for a dinner, I tell them, hey, I can only afford this because I don't have extra fund. So that is a limitation on its own. Now, on the merchant end, it is also a limitation because it impacts how much he can sell. So how much a merchant sells is, to a very large extent, subject to how much I can buy or we can buy. Okay? So when we have alternative source, what I mean to access fund by way of buy now, pay later, it pretty much increases satisfaction for the individual. It increases more sales for the merchant. And of course, you are partners. The lending partners did increase the opportunity for you. Remember, we said by 2025, we should hit about 31 trillion in terms of the market opportunity size in the credit space. So the question is, how ready are we for it? And that's why we're here to help you. So in driving that, we thought about a whole lot. How do we push this into the market such that we are able to deliver value across those three, key points? So what we thought about is all points where there is some form of, please can you help me with the click? This is not working. Please change the slide for me. Yeah, so in looking at it, we decide, okay, there are quite a number of use cases. Today, people pay for DSTV subscription, you buy airtime. We travel a whole lot. I mean, the school fees period, a number of us, we've paid school fees, and today when they call, after 5 months, I just pay school fees. That is also happening. We shop online, we buy tickets, a whole lot. We decide that this would be an opportunity for us to begin to influence how people pay. So, going forward, we are happy to inform you today that Interswitch has launched, next slide please, our own buy now, pay later, we tagged Verve on credit. I think you should clap, please. Thank you. So what we have done is to try, we know this exists, but leveraging on our existing capabilities, we're able to help you achieve more. Now, with our buy now, pay later, a lot was brought into consideration in ensuring that across board, we can serve all our partners. Remember, we're technical partners. So this is for you. And we've said a lot around collaboration. As we collaborate, you being our lending partners and coming on the platform, we can serve Africa better. And that's why I said, Africa is before us. Africa truly go better, but it's before us. We are the one to fix it. So let me quickly run you through some key points, touch points we've considered. Today, you are aware of QuickTeller platform where we have a lot of consumer interaction, bills payments, airtime, data. Today, Verve on Credit is live on that platform. So if you don't have airtime, don't tell the person, my phone just do ping ping, I'm running out. Just the person, hold on, go there, buy airtime and move on. It's unfortunate the previous slide didn't come up. It is estimated that Borrow Me airtime in Nigeria today is in the neighborhood of 5 to 5.5 billion daily. Staggering, right? Daily, yes. Quote me. So today is live on QuickTeller platform. In addition to that, we have the QuickTeller Business, which is a platform where we aggregate a lot of merchants, okay, more of our payment gateway. Verve on Credit is live there today also. So your customers, individuals can go to this merchant site and purchase, and you would have Verve on Credit on standby for you to pay with if you don't have sufficient cash. Next, please. We've also positioned this for institutions that want to, they'll say, okay, I don't want to come on the QuickTeller platform, but I have my own ecosystem. I need this to support and also deliver value to consumers in my own ecosystem. Yes, we're happy to white label this for you, okay, to use. And then finally, we have an API ready that is targeted at all the e-commerce platform. So what you will begin to see in the nearest future is that every platform you go, you would find Verve on credit as an alternative payment method. Okay? Remember what I said earlier. The goal is to change how we pay across Africa. We're test running Nigeria and we're going to expand into other African countries, and we need you on this rail with us. So let me quickly run you through the user journey and I'll wrap up. So a typical flow, the next one please, go to the non-bank please. Next one, fine. No, go back again. Good. So when you go on merchant sites, you go on quick teller platform today, you purchase airtime, you buy data. Upon checkout, you would find this display, and at the bottom you have Verve on credit. That's the product name. When you click on Verve on credit, it will request for you to provide your telephone number, or if you already have a wallet or a profile with us, you provide your email to log on to that platform. Next. Then you have the option of selecting the institution you want. So if you have a bank account already, you want to pick your bank, you provide the account detail, your bank extends an offer to you. But in the case where you don't have, we have loads of fintechs, we have banks and fintechs in the house today. So you all will be enlisted here. Your customers can come and pick or explore other options. And at the point of clicking OK, you have an offer extended to this buyer. The buyer accepts the offer. Next, please. At the point of accepting the offer, we'll tokenize your card. Remember, repayment is critical. If you give out money, you don't get it by principal plus interest. It's a fair deal. So we tokenize the buyer's card. It provides the PIN, then an OTP comes, and the transaction is successful. What happened at this point is that payment goes straight to the merchant, and the customer gets value, and the transaction is closed. Due date, we'll pull back from that card, and of course, remit to you. So this is just a roadmap for integration. What's based on our estimation with you meeting all the requirements and response from your end and very positive, within 5 weeks, we should be done with integration for those of you that want to jump on this. Remember what I said, the market is massive. We have the inroad into the market. We have data, we have payment service to support this. All we need is partners like you to come on the platform and begin to fund purchase from the merchant side and e-commerce platform. That will be it for me at this point. Thank you for listening. I'll be happy to take your questions.
Thank you so much, Innocent. Are there any questions, please? Show of hands. Yesterday we had questions, like 10 questions per session.
Africa is before us, so ask questions.
We had to beg them to stop. Please, any questions? All right, okay. Oh, awesome, correct. Okay, your name and your organization.
Good morning, good afternoon, sorry. My name is Ifeanyi from Lapo. So you said when this transaction is successful, the card is tokenized. The card has to be active for repayment to take place. What then happens when, by the nature of some of our customers, they intentionally go declare that card missing so that that card gets blocked? How do you pursue after repayment? Also, during onboarding, how do you verify the customer in terms of address? Because these customers might not even be where they say they are. So where they default, how do you pursue after those customers?
Thank you. Good question. So first to start with the tokenization, we are aware that there are issues like that. And when it comes to credit, these are part of the risk we have to deal with. Yeah? But I tell people, when you look at the percentage of individuals that fall within this bracket, remember I mentioned earlier there is data support that pretty much mirrors and help you carry out smart and intelligent decision around how you assess your customer. It gives a better insight. And of course, we have quite a lot of measures in place that help, deter these people from, further carrying out this kind of act. This was to an act, and a large extent addressed yesterday when we talked about fraud and stuff. But yes, it's still a concern. But let me also let you in. We have also put a number of measures, first to ensure that a card has reasonable validity period before we tokenize. So first, we eliminate that part of card expiring before due date. That's out. 2, customers can be funny. Yes, that is also a part. But this is not the only means of collection that we have. Okay? So we have other options which we did display here. But of course, across the industry can also attest to that. The second question you mentioned is around how you assess this customer, the KYC for this customer. So I mentioned earlier, in addition, one of the support we provide is also providing information on the borrower, or pretty much the buyer here. So I'm a buyer, I go to, say, Jumia, and I want to purchase, and I click on Verve Credit to pay with. At the point of providing my telephone number, okay, there's a match in the back end that mines data of this individual and push to you as the lender. So you have your risk assessment criteria, your algorithm set on your end. You would run based on that, and you could also have other data sources you explore. 1, like the credit bureau. 2, quite a number of lenders have other data sources. But we provide what we have to you. You can do your own back-end match to assess that customer and ensure that they satisfied your KYC requirements before an offer is extended. Just so you know, everyone that explored this option does not necessarily get a loan. If you don't meet or satisfy all the requirements, it's a return with no offer. Okay?
Thank you so much, Innocent. We have another question here.
For me, I'm just... What's the credit assessment process like today?
So the credit assessment process today, like I mentioned earlier, lies with you. You hold the algorithm that profiles this customer based on your risk criteria or risk appetite. So your scoring model might be different from another institution's scoring model. So you can say, okay, if I have a 50 or 60 credit score for a particular individual, I'm happy to extend the loan. The other person says if it is below 90%, if it's not above 80%, I will not deal. That is your decision. But what we try to do on our end is to make sure that we support you with qualitative and quantitative data that we track that pretty much reveals the capacity of the borrower. So Innocent goes to Jumia. I pick, say, an item for 20,000. I am sending to you alongside that Innocent's transactions over time, alongside with basic KYC information that you require as a lender to run your back-end check. So the loan management system sits with you. I provide you access to the market, customers, push data to you to assess that customer, then you return to. That's why you see when the user journey I shared with you earlier, you would notice that the drop down comes a lot of lenders. So what you would see in a typical case is that one, Innocent will request for a loan. You would find multiple offers coming to Innocent based on your assessment of Innocent, based on your risk assessment criteria. Do you get my point? Mike, please.
Is there anything that will tell you as a lender? Okay, so aside from getting all of these offers, is there anything that informs me as a lender, the customer's history? Have I sort of
yes, that is what I explained. At the point of requesting for a loan, when he clicks on Verve on credit, he's simply saying, I don't have funds to pay. I need someone to finance it for me. I take his phone number, I match it with his transactions and KYC information, and I push it to you. That I'm saying XYZ Microfinance Bank or XYZ FinTech, You have your in-house scoring algorithm. You score your customer. I have a score engine I can also, support you with, but let's assume you maintain that scoring system. You take that information and you feed it in, and you assess and say, Innocent spends an average of about 100,000 a month, and he wants to take 20,000 naira for this purchase. And his assessment looks good. I'm ready to extend. Another lender says, okay, he's good, but I can't give him 20,000, I'll give him 10,000 naira. That's why you have those options, so that everybody can present their offer. But the offer is based on your assessment of that customer, based on the data that have been presented to you. Maybe you should meet me at the back. I will explain further. You're still blank. Please.
Okay. So we'll do another session at the back. All right. Okay, you have a question?
Yes, there's a question here. Okay, please go ahead.
No, I want to start. Good morning, everyone. My name is Esther Salako from Microsystems Investment and Development Limited. Now, I know the reason why we are here is we need to partner in this project.
Absolutely.
Now I'm interested. But my question, although the question has been answered, but you have not really hit it on the, I'm not satisfied. Now, you said when they click on Verve on credits,
yes,
they get there, they now choose on who they want. Probably they choose on Microsystems, for instance. Means that the loan is actually coming from us because we are the one bearing credit. Oh, I don't know.
You're the one extending.
Yes, we're extending the offer to them.
Yeah.
Now, in the case of a default, who bears it all? You understand? I tell my customers that there are some things that we are all going to benefit, but we're also going to share in the losses too. Do you understand? So that is where my question is. I'm the finance manager, so everything about me is how we make more money, not to make losses. Because my boss will say, you make loss, you share it. So salary will be withheld to get it down. So I need to go back to present it to them and say, this is good. But he will ask that question that you are telling me now, that means I'm the one bearing that risk. Because we have a project too like this, and I've been trying to get it to the table about risk. And the question is, they said Nigeria right now is, is not smiling.
Quite tensed.
It's not smiling. So everybody is looking for a way to just get there. I want to use a practical example. One of my brothers in the UK, he's good anyway, but credit cards. I see a lot of credit cards in him. What does he do? Once that one is over, he keeps switching off to the others, and like that, and like that, and like that. And I say, what are you doing? Bros, what are you doing? Change your ways. You understand? I don't want the Yahoo boys to feel into this and begin to, at the end of the day, we are the ones that will be on the losing end. So I think there should be some tightening. Like, the question I wanted to ask, like what he said was the KYC for the customer. That means we are the ones that we vouch for that customer. That I cannot give that customer 20,000 naira. I can only give him 10. So if the customer defaults on that 10, I'm the one losing it all together. Or is Interswitch going to share in a loss? That is my question.
Innocent, are you ready for the an answer?
I am ready for it. It's just that there are diverse ways to actually address this question, which also would require me to expose you to some other back-end workings and support you can deploy as a lender to address this. But let me help us understand it. Today, you're into lending, and most of your lending interactions are half automated or complete manual. So you source customers, they come in, you get this information from them, KYC information, you extend them a loan, and you have how you collect. That is good, but that is what has kept Africa where we are today. You can't scale with that. So what we have simply done is to say, let's create a technology rail for you that opens up the market, and we're able to track a lot of individual information due to our switching capabilities. You can see what this person spends across board to be able to understand how the capacity, there's the 5C of credit. The major ones that it's focused now is capacity, character, and capital, I guess. Other two has been eliminated. So let's focus on two. So this information that will provide to you, KYC and transaction history, would give you an insight. What is that? Capacity. Oh, Innocent spends about an average of about 100 across different electronic channels, which is good. So I can extend him 20,000, which is pretty much like 20% of what he spends monthly. Okay? It still does not eliminate the part of the credit. You still don't know my character. That is where your concerns are. So if Innocent decide to act funny tomorrow and abandon that and move on, yes. But there are other measures. That's why I said we can discuss at the back. There's the credit bureau today. All right? You write on the platform of the credit bureau, where credit bureau, pretty much. Now, let me also tell you, we provide data that also reviews the customer's character, but it might not be as robust as the credit bureau because statutorily they are mandated to get this information from all the banks, okay? And you are mandated as a lending institution, if you're licensed by the CBN, to join at least 2, yeah? So we expect you to create a data mix. From the insights we create showing the customer's capacity, and the insights you get from the credit bureau showing the customer's character, you should then be able to make an informed decision credit-wise that will help you predict the outcome of that loan. But what we're saying, there are lots of other measures. So Yahoo Boy comes in, maybe can only attempt once after that. Remember, you're not giving 1 million. You're funding 5,000, 10,000. You know, I want to buy a headphone, 8,000. That's what it is. But so far, in driving cash lending, it's been huge success. And the model is pretty much the same. And a lot has been done on the back end to keep improving this process. So that's why I said we are partner taking this to Africa, starting with Nigeria, where we would change the way people pay and also begin to have people conform. Conform in sense of they understanding that credit has kicked off in Africa. We need to begin to build credibility. So it's a bit deeper than this. If we break it down, we will take a whole lot of time today. So I'm happy to discuss with you at the back end afterwards.
Thank you very much, Innocent. Okay, you said there's one more question. Can we take just one more? Okay. That'll be
Hello, good morning, everybody. So I want to stay a little bit on the recovery. So when the customer navigates to Verve for credit, now the question is it tied to the customer wallet on QuickTeller, or is it tied to an account? If it's tied to a wallet, what if the wallet is not funded, which means you won't be able to recover? Then if it's tied to an account, say the primary account is not funded, would you be able to recover from other accounts that is associated with the customer's BVN? That's one. Then the second question is, I want to understand the revenue model. Is Interswitch charging a percentage of the principal, or are you charging on the interest and on the credit?
Thank you. I didn't catch your name, sir.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Benjamin.
Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. So first, this transaction is tied to the customer's account. That's why you tokenize a card that is tied to that account. Remember, due dates, you would pass debits into that same account to pull back that fund, which we provide the service today.
So when the customer is onboarding on
yes,
QuickTeller,
please go to the flow again. At the point where the customer has clicked on pay with Verve, using Verve on credit, we request for the customer's telephone number. Now, that is referred to as the MSISDN number, which is matched to a lot of other data feed to pick his transactions and a lot of other information. So if we already have his card, it has the option to pick from those cards. If it does not, here the customer provide the card details. So let's say you bank with GT Bank, Access Bank, you provide your card details, you provide the PIN, we'll send an OTP to validate, that card is tokenized before we release the money. So what that means that loan, say it's 20,000 naira, is meant to run for 30 days. Due date, you initiate the collection. You pass that debit into the account and put principal plus interest, and we'll settle back into your account using the card rail. Now, there are other options also. I mean, that has proven very effective, but the ones everybody's looking forward to was actually discussed yesterday, is being able to pass debits directly to customers' account that is not dependent on card. Yeah, so that is in the works, and maybe that will be something we would also discuss today. So I would love to take more questions, but it's just at the time. But I'm happy to take more questions at the back end so that Yes, sir.
The
The revenue,
model.
I'll discuss the revenue with you. But again, let me make something clear. This is partnership, all right? So what I was trying to explain, your traditional lending model, we have come to say, no, this is not sustainable. Let's bring technology and help you drive it out. So you can process thousands of transactions as opposed to your 5 transactions the day before. Okay, that's partnership, right? Now we can reach more, we can extend more funds to people, individual and businesses. I mean, speaking to this individual, that partnership, there definitely will be a sharing model because Interswitch has taken the lead in driving innovation and putting a lot in place to make this happen. So you are the one bringing in your fund to drive it, of course, but it's just that it will be based on your stake in the business. So you want me to talk about it, I'll discuss with you at the
All
back
right.
Thank you very much,
Thank you so
Innocent.
much, Innocent. Please, a round of applause for Innocent. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Awesome. Wow, we have a full house. Nicholson.
And I'm loving the energy in the house. Actually.
Yes.
Those questions were not going to end.
Please, Innocent is still available.
Maybe
please.
we'll have another Tech Connect. We'll call it Tech Innocent at the back.
All right. Thank you so much, Innocent. Thanks, everyone. There are a couple of things I mentioned before certain individuals walk into the room. We have a lot of guests here. We'll give you a shout out soon, one by one. But also, it's important for us, in as much as we're going to learn about the products that we have, it's also important that we collaborate and network. So if you've not spoken to the person beside you, if you don't know the person seated within your seat bucket, it would be nice to reach out and say hi. We did a game yesterday, Nicholson.
Yeah. Yes.
Where we went round.
I think we will run that game.
Yes, we will.
Maybe
after
the
we have
next
to do
speaker.
it. And you never know, there might be a prize.
You never know.
You never know. Awesome. So just to take us further, I would like to invite Olawale Olowu. He's the Business Development Manager, Mobile Financial Services, Sistigra Division, Interswitch. Please, a round of applause. Wow. Wale is so tall. Please don't stand beside me. I think you should be going towards this side.
You can stand beside me.
Oh, please. Awesome. All right, all the
thank you very
best.
much, Wale.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I said good afternoon, everyone. So great to have you all here. Just like I introduced, I represent the Mobile Financial Service Unit. Just like the name says, Mobile Financial Service. So what we do is provide financial services for mobile applications for the various banks and microfinance institutions. So I'm here to speak on a product which we recently launched. It's known as the Mobile Banking as a Service. Mobile Banking as a Service, which is targeted to the microfinance institutions. Please permit me before I go into my slides. So just tell us some few stories and at least to usher us into the conversation. So on my next slide, the question is, plus the previous slide before this, the question is why mobile banking? I think we need to ask ourselves that question because these days we all have our mobile applications on our phones. Why mobile banking? Going into a branch, I'm so certain that it's not going to be delightful or for many of us. In fact, these days I particularly am not interested in walking into any branch. And yes, the ATM, for instance, yes, is most likely gonna not annoy you and be delightful for you. But a mobile bank and mobile application on your phone sits in this space where everyone wants to have their banking application on their apps and be able to utilize it at any time. And even these days, as part of the product which we created, we will have something like an offline banking on your app. So you can choose to turn off your data and not want it to use data, or probably in a remote location. But that's not why we are here. So I'll go briefly to speak about the mobile banking as a service solution. So Interswitch in the 2016, we purchased a company known as Vanso. Vanso was licensed to build mobile applications and provide support for major commercial banks. So in 2016, so our major focus was the key commercial banks in play. And sometime between 2016 to 2019, we expand beyond the initial banks like the Access Bank, the GTB, and add some other likes like Heritage Bank, FCMB, Polaris Bank. But we also identify a major problem, and that aspect is the unit MFVs. Because one way or the other, they want to be able to reach their customers. And we felt like, what's that blockage, what's that challenge that they have? And we went into development and created the product known as mobile banking as a service. So the uniqueness of this product is that we've taken the responsibility of the infrastructure, we've taken the responsibility of the technical resources. In Nigeria today, the technical units, almost every week, one person is leaving the country. I believe this is a usual occurrence in every industry today. So, but as Interswitch, we've done something which is take the responsibility of providing that infrastructure, take the responsibility of supporting that business, and we've gone in as to say the huge financial burden that you require to be able to build an application, to be able to have the infrastructure ready and have the technical resources to support it. So we build that mobile banking as a service and say we're going to take this responsibility for you. All you need to do is onboard on this platform and be ready to start transacting, start exposing it to your customers, and thereby making more money for the bank. I remember somebody mentioning here that their interest is to make more money, and when they are not provided that, then definitely question will be asked. So we've introduced these products, like I mentioned. So please, next, one of the unique advantage of this product is all your primary banking transactions that even the core major commercial banks provide today is available for your use. Your customer will be able to do their BIS payment transaction. Your customer will be able to do fund transfer, and the customer as well being able to change probably card services. And the uniqueness about this is that this product is not just limited to this. As time goes on, from the engineering team in-house, we'll be releasing more products on this platform. And the beautiful thing, like I mentioned, is you just sit and make it available to your customers. So all major features that is available on your major commercial banks is available to all MFBs to utilize. And to speak more about these benefits, we've taken the responsibility, like I mentioned earlier, the infrastructure cost, the maintenance of this infrastructure, providing the technical resource that will be able to, on regular basis, being able to track that there are issues, being able to fix their issues, and providing you the support. I need to also mention that we would not be doing this alone, because we would also be providing your team the technical knowledge to be able to provide at least that first level support to be able to interact with your customer. Then when the issue requires our engineering units to work on it, then we also come forth to provide that assistance. Faster onboarding here is if you are ready as at today to say yes, having completed all the necessary, probably provided some documentations, I can assure you that in a period of between 3 to 4 weeks, a mobile app is available for your users. And the uniqueness about it, again, is it is going to be specifically designed to fit your organization brand color. So part of those documentation we'll be requesting is to tell us what are your company branding details. And so we use that to design the interface so that when your customer on board and they are transacting, they will not be seeing a color different from yours. Although it's a multi-tenancy application, but it is tailored to suit individual banks' need. So everybody, when your customer come in, they are seeing something that represents your particular bank. So this is just a brief view of what the interface looks like. I want to believe today this sits closely to any of the mobile banks that we have today. I believe we can have a clap to that. I believe, because I've seen major apps today that is not as beautiful as this. But these colors, like I mentioned, will be tailored towards your own brand identity. And some of the flows of the app is just like you see on the screen. So it's readily available. We are ready. My team is available to speak further on this. And with just a small token, we are good to go. Yes, probably I need to state what that token is. As small as $1 million, 2 million, you're already onboarding on the app, instead of you having close to 17 million to be able to develop a modern application. But I can guarantee you that, yes, support, the team is so equipped to be able to provide you that support periodically as required. So, talking about the next steps, the journey to onboarding you as a customer on that platform. What we just need is, once you signify interest, we just require you to provide an award letter. From that, to be able to move to having some agreement, and also require you to provide settlement letter from your settlement bank, so that, yes, we be able to channel the necessary funds and revenue to the appropriate design account. And once we have that in place, your team will just require your team to provide the API. Then we integrate the API to suit your needs. Because, like I mentioned, even though we handle this infrastructure, there's a need for you to be able, for the application to communicate to your core banking application, so that you can have all your revenue monitored and you can do your settlement as required. So once all these settlement details and initial documentation are available, the app is as good as ready for your use, and you can as well continue or commence your marketing campaign to drive in more users. Even account onboarding is part of the functionality on the app. So if it's a medium for your bank to be able to promote and get more users to the app, this platform is one that you would need. Speaking as next step, what we just need is you sending an email to sales@interswitch.com, and the team is ready to pick up. Someone in there will just communicate and respond to your mail, and we are ready and good to go. At this point, I'm ready to entertain any question. Thank you.
Round of applause for Lawale Olowu. Thank you so very much. Are there any questions, please? Any questions? Wale, if I want to set up, get on this, can we start the process today?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, definitely the team is equipped to provide. I can see someone.
Oh, there's a question.
Yeah, we have a question.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lawal Razak from Asset Matrix MFB. Yeah, my question is based on the core banking you mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to know, based on the back-end infrastructure of this solution, are we to have our own core banking if you are to come on board? Or there will be an admin portal based on this solution? That is, if you come on board on the mobile banking as a services, are we to have our own core banking so that we can check whatever transactions that is being done by the customers, that is the debit, the credit part, whatever details that has been done, I hope you get that is from the accounts, registration, login. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I do. I understand you. Okay. So yes, there's need for a core banking to be in place. I know a team.
As if from us, as you have to have our own.
Yes, an in-house core banking system. But in addition to this platform, we also provide you like a back-end office to monitor activity performed by your users on the mobile app. For instance, you want to track onboarding, you should be able to see it. Airtime purchase, you should as well see it on that back-end office. Transfers, the number of login in a day, and all those things. So we provide an additional admin portal to this. But yes, we need to integrate to your core banking platform as well, so that it flows from the app to both the admin portal as well as your core banking application.
So based on the API aspect,
okay,
is it Interswitch that will provide the APIs, or we have to have our own ready-made APIs too to integrate with the core banking?
And since we'll provide you as part of the documentation an API specification, so the expectation is that your team will be able to share an API that fits that specification, so that yes, it becomes easier to integrate and communicate to your core banking platform.
Thank you, Wale. So all your questions answered. Do we have other questions, please? Just wave your hand, I'll come to you. Questions?
I'm definitely available behind, and my team is present to...
Wale, are you running away? Don't go away yet. I'm sure there are questions in the house. Please don't be shy. Just ask a question. This is mobile banking as a service. I know a lot of MFBs are here, fintechs that want to set up. Mm-hmm. Do you want to ask about revenue share? Do you have a question? Okay. All right. There's a question here.
Thank you.
Okay. My name is Ifeanyi. The first question is, what's the unique difference that's beneficial to us offering the mobile app as a service to us? As you're offering this as a service, what if I have a unique feature that I want that's not on that app? Would that be done, or if it has to be done, it has to be done that it will affect everybody using that app as a service? Okay,
thank you for that question. So something I forgot to mention as well is the team also would have like a monthly service review with the various customers on the platform to project and show you the industry trend, as well as communicate how your platform is doing, and also to get feedback from the banks to what possible future they would like on board, or for us to provide on that platform. So speaking to your question, yes, we would definitely work with you to have such feature, to review such feature. And if something is unique to just you, or you want something developed strictly unique, yes, our team is as well available to discuss further on that, so that it's just something that's just for your use only and not for every person. And the way the platform is built, so once a feature is set up, the ones that are closely for just some specific user and based on conversation I have with them, we can just turn up that service for their use only and not for the general use. But as I mentioned, periodically we'll be onboarding new products into the platform. Also, like I mentioned, we have more offerings from the unit, many of which I can't speak here because it's designated for a purpose. But you can meet me behind to speak more about what we can provide you. We have a research and development team that is producing most of this functionality we see in major of the banks today, that we roll out, even the offline banking offerings and the rest, even a data wallet possibly coming out soon. So that's that. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Fine. Okay, thank you very much, Wale. Put your hands together for Wale Olu.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. All right. Okay. I understand a lot of us are some people just walked in and they probably missed the breakfast session. So I'm going to do something now. We're going to go on like a 5 minutes tea break. If you want to get to the restroom, it's just your first right. If you want to get water, there's water available. Just stretch out. I know some of us have been sitting down here for a while. So just for you to relax. get to meet someone that's sitting within your cubicle that you've not seen before, or you do not know, or doesn't work in your company. It was a good time for you to mingle right now. So we'll be going on a 5 minutes interlude. You can actually just stretch out, go get water or tea or juice at the back. If you missed breakfast or if you need some more, you can just go ahead. So we'll take the 5 minutes break. Then when we come back, we'll be having our panel session. Thank you very much, everyone. Bank is in the building. Thank you for coming. Okay. Are we seated now? Can we get those standing behind sit down? I need everyone seated because we're about to go into the panel session. And this is going to be like the highlight of the day. The conversation is going to be different from there. And there'll be opportunities to ask questions today. Okay, TrueSoft, thank you for coming. Radar, Growth Associate, thank you for coming. Okay, Capricorn, I mentioned that earlier. Thank you for coming. All right, so we'll move to the next line of events. So just to remind you and reiterate the event we're having by 5 p.m. today. I'm saying it and I'm saying it, so you don't miss out. Don't worry, like Wayne said earlier, you might not recognize me at that event. I might not be wearing a jacket and looking all corporate. I'm looking very relaxed. I have my dancing shoes in the car. I'll probably go and just change into my dancing shoes and get very comfortable. I want to encourage every one of you to do that. I can see the ladies in high heels. Enough respect for you and your heels. They look very good on you. I know what you go through. I can relate. Let me try to be empathetic, But you can also take off those heels if you can't dance in them and get your slippers on, your flats on, and come and have a good time this evening. Like I said, red carpet starts by 5, and if you need transportation down there, we'll be here to assist. Thank you very much. Okay, so the main part of the day. I'm always looking forward to this part of the event because I get to introduce the guests. Okay. Now, today's conversation is going to be very interesting because we're going to be having thought leaders and industry drivers. They're going to be sharing with you from their wealth of knowledge, and you all are going to have an opportunity to also ask questions from them. Of course, we have ready questions from the chief panelists, and the individual will ask the questions that they will need to answer to actually drive the narrative. So whatever questions you may have as well, you can also put it together. So what I'm saying is we'll need you to pay very close attention to everything they're going to be saying, because we need each and every one of you to contribute to this. Like I said earlier, each and every one of you is important to the financial growth that we're experiencing in this industrial revolution. So we're going to be taking this part, and I'll start by introducing the first person that's going to be on the panel today. He is an IT professional with experience in diverse IT solutions, IT management, business and product development, and also project management. He served as pioneer CIO of one of the interesting banks that we have. I'll go ahead and mention it so you'll know it's what I'm talking about. So he served as pioneer CIO of Nova Merchant Bank, a fast-paced, technology-driven corporate bank. We all know Nova Bank. Okay, he joined Nova Bank to build, these are interesting parts. He joined Nova Bank to define, build, and manage the bank's technology infrastructure and services, whilst also owning the relationship with other partners, platform solution providers, regulators, and stakeholders. I want you to put your hands together as we make welcome AGK Ngene. Okay. Oh, there he is. AGK, nice to have you here. Thank you for coming. All right. Okay. So the next person I'm going to be introducing to us. Okay. 1 second. All right. This individual is a digital payments enthusiast and a veteran with years of experience, cognate experience, spanning treasury and capital markets, corporate banking, and payments. He helped financial institutions across the Middle East and Africa to digitize their business solutions, including his role at Mises, which is now Finastra, and Thomas Reuters, now Refinitiv. As a senior business consultant, his experience also included a stint with the Treasury Division at Guaranty Trust Bank. Let me just skip and go to the interesting part. Every part is even interesting, but let me just run this through. He currently has oversight of the financial services group at Interswitch, leading efforts geared towards value creation in retail payments, risk management, treasury, and trade finance within sub-Saharan Africa, whilst also building strong industry relationships with financial institutions and technology partners. I want you to put your hands together as we welcome Toila Aga. Toila, where are you, please? Where is Toila? Hey, put your hands together for Toila. I'm actually supposed to arrange you on your seat, so. All right, thank you very much, Toila. Toila, you can sit inwards. Thank you. Okay, so the next person that's going to be on this panel. All right, this person is also a very close friend of mine, and I'm going to call him out. He's a competent and experienced professional with years of experience in financial services and technology with focus on business development, business process optimization, settlement, data reconciliation, product management, performance management, dispute resolution management, operations management, vendor management, strategic planning, client relationship management, and team management. He's a management professional. All right. Okay. He is an unconventional, out-of-the-box thinker with proven track record of establishing simplified and effective processes, streamlining workflow, and creating teamwork environments that enhance organizational productivity. He's no other than Victor Oyebuchi. Put your hands together for Victor Oyebuchi from CMAT. Sounds strange me introducing him from CMAT. Can we have Victor? Victor, did you know it was you I was talking about? Now, there's something I'm doing here. I think you can just go. Don't sit with your friends. Come and sit down here, please. Victor, come and sit here, please. Here. This one in the middle. Yes, please. Okay, so what I'm doing, why I'm taking my time to introduce them this way is so you can understand when they're talking, you know they know what they're talking about. Okay? And another thing there is that they didn't know I was going to read this about them. So be sure that it's an authentic conversation you're going to have. This will probably be the most authentic event you've attended. Panel sessions that will have authentic answers because nothing is scripted. All right, so I'll be introducing the next person. Now, the next set of people I'm going to be introducing to you are very, very interesting people. Okay, now this is one of the very interesting persons I want to introduce to you now. All right, so this individual, I don't want to jump. Okay, let me just jump this first line because I don't want him to know he's the one I'm talking about. So this individual has spent years in research and financial literacy in advancing financial inclusion to the informal sector. We all know how much the Apex Bank has invested in this. Now, this individual has spent years in research to see this thing happen. He has worked as a consultant across local and international organizations, private and governmental, as an expert in the areas of statistics, research, and financial inclusion. Okay, let me go ahead. His current and future activities are towards actively advancing financial inclusion in Nigeria and Africa, which is why he pitched his tent with Awaba. Put your hands together for Mr. Tunji Andrews. Tunji, were you expecting that introduction? Let's just go this way. Now, Tunji, you sit beside Victor. All right. So I'll be calling another person. I called him the wild card of the event. That's for me. I call him the wild card of the event. I won't say so much about him because he has a wealth of experience in financial inclusion and fintech and in the financial industry. By the time he speaks, everything he says speaks for him. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Babatunde Obrema, the COO of Fintech Nigeria. Sir, you can sit in between, sir. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to be calling on the governor of this panel today. By the way, do the people on the panel sound interesting to you? Are you looking forward to hearing what they have to say? Okay, I like the energy. It's building up. All right, so this individual is a commercially minded individual with extensive experience and tremendous success in business analysis and development, operations, and administrative management. This person has experience that goes all the way from business development to strategy to relationships, sales and account management, fintech expert, and founder. I'd like to introduce you to the governor of this panel, Waimi Ogru. Waimi, please, can you come up, please? And before Waimi finally comes up, one more person that we added to the panel. And this individual is coming as a surprise and is going to be added to it. So this individual is a prolific business development professional with remarkable track records in driving business growth across various sectors of the Nigerian economy. Financial technology, as the financial technologies in the financial technology space, commercial banks, microfinance banks, a results-driven business partner and team builder with repeated success in developing a successful team and achieving organization goals. Highly skilled in negotiation, business development, strategy, analytics, and risk management. This individual comes with a lot of degrees, BDs, MBAs, Safe Agile, and just to wrap up who this individual is, he's an experienced and proven team leader with outstanding communication, training, and development skills. He has deployed his, let me read, I wrote this in third person, and I was going to read it like that for him. It says, I have deployed my competence consistently in series of business engagements and knowledge sharing. This is him. I'm trying to speak like he's one speaking to you now. Knowledge sharing, and knowledge sharing sessions delivered annually to over 8,000 managing directors, heads of credit compliance, and credit officers of banks and SMEs across all states in Nigeria, spanning over 6 years plus. Put your hands together as we call again Mr. Innocent Itobere. Innocent comes up, we have an announcement. Okay. If you have a Ferrari, Toyota Camry, KSF 849FU, we'll need you to repark your car. You are blocking the owner of this building. Don't worry, you don't have to go out now. When the panel starts, so we'll know that you came with a Ferrari, Camry, Toyota, G-Wagon. Okay, Waimi.
Right, thank you so much, Nicholson. Please, a round of applause for our panelists. So I'll just, out of respect, can I sit now? Please, I need concurrence from you guys. Thank you. All right, awesome. So I'm the only woman here. All right. Did we hear all the achievements and all their accolades when Nicholson was calling them out? Very interesting. It's a privilege to be here today. Thanks for being on the panel. We're going to talk about a couple of things, and it's going to be a very interesting session. So I just want us to just have this session like we're just gisting and having a chat. The topic for the Techconnect is collaborating for industry growth and profitability. So some of the questions will be around this, and we might step out a little bit to ask other questions that are very pertinent in the industry. So, Toila space, I'm going to start with Toila. he had a face on, so I'm going to ask him the first question. All right, so Toila, thank you. So the question for you is, just give us a very brief, history about the Nigerian payment space, very, very brief, and Interswitch's contribution to the industry so far. Can you test your mic? You flip it up.
Thank you so much, Remy.
You're welcome.
For the opportunity to be on set. And good morning again to everyone. And thank you for joining Techconnect 2.0. We appreciate your valued partnership these many years. Speaking about the payments journey, in our country, Nigeria, it's tough to talk about it in a few minutes, but I'll just try to summarize. I'll start by telling two stories. Growing up, I used to go to the bank with my mother, and I would carry her bag to the bank, and she would go to her bank first thing in the morning for a reason, to pick up a tally number. How many of us remember those days? No one is raising their hands. So much has changed. So she'll go to the bank in the morning, pick up a tally number, and then she would leave the bank, and then would go around doing other chores and come back hours later, sometimes at noon or maybe 1 p.m. At that point, literally, will be when they're calling a number, to do a transaction. And we had then accountants, that would sit in those branches, and they always sit on very high platforms, like the platform, that we're sitting in. Why am I telling this story? It tells you the journey that we've been through. A lot of people hardly even go to their bank today. Everything now is digital. You, at the comfort of your office or your house, you can seamlessly do transactions. That story wasn't always that way. It reminds me again, second story, about sometime when I used to work abroad. And, actually told someone in the office that I wanted to go to the bank. He looked at me strangely. He says, "You want to go to the bank? It means you must be a millionaire." It speaks literally about how payments has become a part of everyday life. So when you fast forward to those times when I was growing up and to where we are, it's really been a journey. And in Nigeria, it's been no different. I remember in 2002 when Interswitch started. Interswitch is 20 years this year. Our goal then was to build a network, to connect ATMs across Nigeria. The story then was that banks, few banks then had ATMs, but the ATMs that they had were not interoperable. There was no connection between banks, and Interswitch saw a problem 20 years ago and built that rail. And since then till now, we've continued in our innovation journey. In 2004, Interswitch trailed the blaze, in the collections business, for corporates who needed to receive payments across all channels. Then, big corporates in Nigeria would have to have account numbers in all the banks, literally, to get payments. But with a simple solution, Pay Direct, collecting banks could actually get value without the hassle, of cash management. Some of you remember the story in 2008 when we needed to migrate all EMV cards, in this market to chip. That was really powerful. Interswitch did that in 1 year, and on the back of that, Interswitch launched Verve, which is an African card for African people.
I think it's safe to give a round of applause. Verve card, thank you.
It's, these things are momentous. When you think about the fact that one company has done this over a 20-year journey, It's something to really celebrate. And it's something that's bigger than Interswitch. It's for the country. It speaks to how far we've gone, literally. And we didn't just stop there. Some of you know about Quick Teller, making everyday payments seamless from any touch point, any device. You can make bill payments, pay for flights. It means a lot to us, the fact that really, truly, we're not just inspiring Nigeria, but also the continent to greatness. And, it just keeps going on and on and on, but for time, I'll just round off by saying, Interswitch has been at the center of it all, helping to make payments seamless, across Nigeria. And that story through the years, taking it also across the continent. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Toila. Just relating to what Toila said about tallies. I'm sure the Gen Zs would have no idea in the world on what a tally is because everything is done on their phones. So Gen Zs, I'm sure anytime they should be saying thank you, thank you, thank you every time. All right. So again, we're glad about everything that Toila said that Interswitch has done. But again, we have partners, we have other financial institutions that we work with. And so relating to the next question, I would relate this to Victor. How do you think players within the financial industry can become better at collaborating for industry growth and profitability?
All right, thank you very much, Wayemi. It's nice to be here. I think for me, this is like homecoming. Showing familiar faces. I'll take a cue from what TY said. We've really come a long way. And prior to this time, we keep hearing of disrupting the ecosystem. But from big players in the industry, they've discovered that you can't just disrupt and do it all alone. There's a need for collaboration. There are some key players that have strength in different areas. And I'll take, for example, Interswitch. Interswitch built the card rails, which all banks are leveraging on. Just imagine commercial banks have to build their own card rail. They wouldn't have even gone far. So it's very, very important. And one of the ways is via collaboration. And with the trend happening now where we see skilled resource leave the country, we started seeing the need for skilled resource in some areas, and some organizations have them. And our ability to collaborate helps us to launch on time. It's cheaper, it's faster. You can leverage on the strength of an industry leader as against building your own infrastructure. Let me take, for example, the fintechs and microfinance bank. If they were to build their own payment rail today, what's the capital base of a microfinance bank, irrespective of the tiers? It would be very expensive. It's not cost effective. But when we start sharing knowledge, sharing platforms and resource, it helps fasten the way we innovate. It builds creativity, and the ecosystem becomes richer, and it expands the opportunity in that ecosystem. I know Innocent was doing a presentation of buy now, pay later. It's not a new thing. It has been there. You see a trader at Balogo Market. She just wants a micro loan, to buy the so-called agege bread. And by the time she's done with her sales, she remits the money in the evening, and look at the outrageous interest rates. But now with technology, we're able to give her options, and the infrastructure or the technical know-how might not be resident in a particular bank or fintech, but the ability to take that data of that person, which the big commercial bank might not be close to, but the microfinance bank there at Lewis Street, Lagos Island, or the community bank in other rurals, they understand, they know this person. And he's able to use technology, to leverage technology. Those community bank or maybe leverage that technology to offer that service to that person. So you see that collaboration, that partnership, it enriches the ecosystem and unlock a lot of capabilities, and potential. And at the end of it all, you see that the space is so much to do, and the opportunities are numerous. So we can do that by collaborating, sharing skilled resource. Now, considering the price tag on skilled resource these days, is amazing. But, we can leverage on that, and strengthen the ecosystem. And apart from that also, like what you made mention of Vev, I'll just be taking cue from that, sharing that opportunity. Today, if you compare it with other schemes, we're not saying, but if you look at the way it's being structured and the ecosystem, enabling those who can't even get those foreign cards, those capabilities, they're now having those capabilities. Sometimes they have the co-acquirer being, now they can issue cards. Fintechs can issue cards. Naturally, based on regulation, there's some limitation, but because of collaboration and partnership, they can do similar things that they couldn't have been able to do without that collaboration or partnership. So what it does is that it now opens a new vista of opportunity for them to increase revenue. So there's a lot, but it's very important that in the ecosystem, beyond just disrupting it, like an adage, when you disrupt it, what next? So the strength of the ecosystem is when we come together to partner, collaborate, and leverage on our strengths, and capabilities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for Victor. Like the popular football club, I'm not going to mention, just in case there are fans here, it says never walk alone, right? Abi, never walk alone, yes. We all need each other. Collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. And one thing that Akim Lawal mentioned a couple of weeks ago at the Interswitch at 20 event was that we are the solutions to the challenges that we have in Nigeria. Nobody will come and solve those problems for us. Everyone seated here in this room, we are the solutions to the issues that we have. All right. So I think I'm going to address this question to Mr. Tunji. Yes. So one thing I like about this space is that we're very flexible, we're very fluid. I remember when I was a lot younger, if you're going to the office, you have to be seriously dressed in your tie and everything. Mr. Tunji is looking nicely dressed. I love your kicks, by the way. Thank you so much. I just needed to compliment your outfit. It's really dope. All right. So what are the trends that we see in the payment industry globally? And what lessons can Nigeria learn from it? Yeah.
Thank you for having me, by the way. So this is quite interesting for me because I have been looking at the Chinese financial ecosystem and comparing it to how seriously behind we are. In as much as we think we've taken leaps and bounds, it's like they're in the next century altogether, with how much they've been able to do with payments across board. There was a particular meeting that happened in our office, and we felt that there was some innovation, and we thought, oh, this has never been done before, and realized that the Ali group did it like 7 years ago. So there's a lot that we can do, but I'm pretty excited by open banking and what it presents to Nigeria, the ecosystem, and just the ability for a financial technology company, the fintech business, to be able to take the API of a giant like Interswitch and just put upon it a thin layer of code and be able to provide financial services with the capabilities of an Interswitch. So 4 of us in a room, we might not have all the extensive skill sets that a a group like Interswitch would have, but we have almost all the capabilities of an Interswitch. And I think that is what has made the possibilities of people being able to offer multiple services at the speed of light, really, across board. And what I think we'll continue to see is that because I do not need to have what Interswitch has, I can now focus on my key area and be the very best at my particular key area. I'll give an example. So, for instance, shameless plug. My team, we basically are digitizing pensions and specifically access to informal sector workers. Now, that is our core, that is our business, that is what we know how to do. In the general context of trying to provide this service, we've now realized that we need to enable payments. Do we need to hire the skills to start it from scratch? Do we need to, start that entire work? No. We just get simple APIs, which is ridiculously easy to get these days. You just get the APIs and you put a layer of code on top of it and boom, you're there. And it seems like magic, and then it makes companies that are just emerging look like giants already because they have the capabilities. And you see a lot of these partnerships, so to say, happening where a small business now has the capabilities to reach beyond borders. It can reach beyond Lagos, even to Accra, even to Kenya and the likes. And I think that is what excites me about payments as an ecosystem. Just the fact that a tiny business can do a lot more. Now, I think this is the frontier, and this is what I think we're going to start seeing in the next couple of months into years. What we saw about the first presentation, buy now, pay later. And I'll still go back to the example of the Chinese ecosystem. Small businesses will now be able to, in a very short time, be able to extend those credit facilities because they've been able to layer on the strength of an Interswitch, for instance. So a customer comes into my store and wants to buy a dress, right? And I do not know this customer from anywhere, right? But because of a swipe, a small credit rating, biddy bam, biddy boom, I'm able to tell she can afford this kind of credit, and I'm able to give the dress to her. And she walks out. We do not know each other from anywhere, no conversations had before, just because of API integration. And I think that is what the whole ecosystem presents in the future, and I'm really, really excited about it.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Thank you very much. Round of applause. Thank you so much, Tunde. I'm going to address my next question to Mr. Babatunde. It's nice to have you here, sir. Yesterday was a day one for Techconnect. There were lots of questions around fraud. And today, I'm sure we've had a couple of questions around fraud as well. So, it's something that's inevitable, if I must say, when it comes to payment. And that can actually hinder growth. What can be done to curtail it? I know we've spoken about a couple of things, but from your perspective, what are some of the things that can be done to curtail fraud? Thank you.
Okay, I think the first thing is that fraud is something we'll live with. As we develop new technology, the guys on the other end are also upping their game. So I think the first thing that each organization needs to up their game to make sure that they continuously, upgrade their system against things like this. And then we're talking about collaboration. Collaboration is key. I think one good thing is that the regulator, this financial system is a bank-led financial system, which forces us to collaborate. And I think that it's what we all need to start looking at. How do we work together? There's a fraud with a fintech, and you're not getting cooperation from other people, or there's a fraud with a bank, and the bank is so we need to have that platform where we can make this work seamlessly. Okay, maybe I will just talk about what we're doing at FinTech Association of Nigeria. We have a forum which is called the Regulator Forum, which means regulators and innovators. We have reps from CBN, from SEC, NDIC, NICOM, NCC, so all the regulators, NFIU on that platform at director levels and operators. And one of the things we intend to achieve, and for this year, the project is to be able to develop a FinTech roadmap for the insurance sector. InsurTech is very low. And I think for next year, one of the things we want to try and achieve is how do we create a platform to solve this problem of fraud? There's a need for collaboration and integration. Amongst the regulators, there's lack of interoperability. Amongst ourselves, there's lack of interoperability. So how do we ensure that interoperability, that when something happens and I trigger it off as ABCMFB, it cuts across the whole network and we can block it. And I think that's the way it's going to work. So we all can't afford to work in silos. You must have that collaborative mindset. We need a paradigm shift mindset to solve this problem. So everybody needs to open up. And I think that that's one of the beauty of what open banking will also try and do, that we can incorporate that into how we run open banking, and it will help everybody to be able to reduce fraud and crime. We can't stop it, but we can reduce it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Babatunde. We need to collaborate. Collaboration. When he said, as we develop products, the other guys on the other side, I don't want to mention who they are. Yes. All right. The next question will be for Innocent. What do you think is the future of digital lending in Nigeria?
Thank you, Amy. First, I would like to appreciate the organizers for the opportunity to be on the set. I'm extremely grateful. Looking at payment, there was a time someone actually asked this question: what's the future of digital lending? As I was about to answer, it occurred to me that the future is now. Really, a lot has been done. Different rails has been created. We keep looking into the future. When do we kickstart actually? So a lot has been presented so far. I mean, Tunde has extensively discussed around, the possibilities we have today. We have biometric payments, we have tokenization, we have card-based and non-card-based payment rail. All these are actually the rail for lending. It's the way to the future. The future is now. So today, the focus for Interswitch lending services, just to focus a bit more, is more as to how to extend or increase access to finance for individual, for small businesses. We don't have to really do anything more. So the future is that to get to a stage, you walk into a shop, like you said, you go to a merchant. Every point you get to where there is exchange of value, you'll find credits there. It goes even further where you find out that as you get to that point, you've already been pre-qualified because this decision are data-driven. And this is exactly what Interswitch has been working on over time. We've taken time to conceptualize and develop this solution. It's there for you. Microfinance bank, ride with us, collaborate to take it to the unbanked and the underbanked. The fintech, latch on this and let's expand. So what you will find happening is that even those that are not within the structured lending system, you begin to find out that will begin to capture their information and now be able to profile them for credit. So your gas is running out in the house, credit is already speaking for you. You're running out of airtime, like we presented today. That's the future. You're paying for school fees. You don't need to think twice about if you have cash or not. It's the future. You want to fly the next day, you have cash to do that. So credit becomes part of our everyday payments and our everyday life. That's the future for us.
All right. Thank you so much, Innocent. A round of applause for Innocent. I think that's the end of the panel. Am I missing out on anyone? Oh, Ejike. You're not alone. All right. So I have a question for you. Should we be expecting any more innovative products from Interswitch, or we are done? We're 20, so we're going to sleep now. Should we expect anything from Interswitch?
Should we? At Interswitch, we never stop.
Woo! Round of applause, please.
So we keep innovating. Toilet shared, a beautiful story around, growing up, going to the banks. I mean, I remember when it was cool, I used to drive from my house in Surulere to VI to use a certain ATM gallery. It was so cool to get into the ATM gallery just to withdraw money. It was cool. I used to drive all the way to Tiamu Savage DSTV office to pay DSTV subscription. Interswitch came, Quick Teller, and it's on, right? So he talked about, pay direct, collections, auto pay for disbursements, a whole lot of cool things that we've done at Interswitch after connecting the banks initially. So are we going to stop? We never stop, right? Today we're talking about tokenization. Innocent talked about, ILS, micro lending and things like that. Some colleagues are going to come forward later to talk about our managed services, innovations. So today we're empowering fintechs, we're empowering MFIs, to simply latch on to Interswitch infrastructures and technologies to be able to offer services to the public, to their customers. I was so thrilled. Last December, I went to my village for the first time. One very interior village in Enugu State. I needed cash, and I found, some agent, and it was very easy for me to withdraw money. Interswitch powers all of that. So we will keep innovating. We'll never stop. At Interswitch, our mantra is to inspire Africa to greatness through innovation, value creation, and excellence. So we will continue to live the dream. And we're not just doing this, of course, in Nigeria. Of course, Interswitch Kenya is doing amazing things. Interswitch Uganda is doing amazing things. Over the next 3 to 5 years.
Thank you. Round of applause.
Okay. All right. So over the next 3 to 5 years, we're storming Africa. I need to show you the map of Africa and the footprint of Interswitch, in Africa. So we will never stop. Thank you.
Round of applause. When Ejike was talking, I was just in my head, I was looking for a soundtrack. Those soundtracks for when the hero is going to kill the villain. When he said, we're storming Africa, we never stop. I just needed that soundtrack. Maybe we'll do a replay next time. But thank you, everyone, for your contribution. It's such a privilege to be seated here, and to have our guests listen to you. Do have a lovely day, and thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for our panelists as they go back to their seats. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, please, can you gather together for a picture?
Yeah, pictures. Where do you want to take it there? All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was an interesting panel. Apologies, we could not take questions from the audience for time. Please, we need you to go to the back. Another round of pictures, please. Sir, please, we need you to go to the back for some pictures. Okay, Wayme, thank you very much. Please put your hands together for the panel session. Please, for your questions that you have, you can reach out to us. Send in your questions. We'll be willing to get answers across to you and carry the conversation further. All right, so for sake of time, we might want to hurry up with our next round of events. So I'll be calling up Susan now to come and do her presentation. Susan, please put your hands together for Susan as she comes up to do her presentation. You look lovely, by the way. Good.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good to see your beautiful faces and handsome faces. In the spirit of never stopping in Interswitch, ADK kind of landed it very well to say that in Interswitch, what our core mandate is to solve problems. And we've been solving it for 20 years, and we feel that we are just starting. We are just starting. I would actually believe that through collaboration with all the stakeholders, the industry leaders we have in the room, I mean, just beyond us trying to have a brand name, we will build a better Nigeria, a better Africa. I mean, sometimes when you look at the feat and what we've achieved in Africa or in Nigeria, you begin to even look at the Western world, what they're currently doing in terms of the banking sector and how far we've gone. Sometimes I feel like we do not give ourselves the right accolade that we deserve, right? Because when they do some things, I'll be like, oh, you are just doing that. I mean, we've been doing that like 10 years ago. You are just catching up, Shebi. So that's how far we've gone. I think we all deserve a round of applause. So all our beautiful innovators in the room, how you're never stopping, how you're trying to do one thing or the other to make Africa and Nigeria a better place. So for me today, my assignment is very simple. It's just to tell you another innovation, right? We have looked at payments and we know, yes, payments, we're having new innovators. We have fintechs that are doing so many things. We have MFBs also that are also trying to just go beyond I just want to be a bank in my locality. I don't want to reach other people. We've seen what people have done with that one license, how they've gone beyond the fact that, yes, even though I have a tier 1 license or a tier 2 license, digitally there are no tiers. What that means is that if I'm a tier 1 MFB and all I can do is stay in Alagbado, right? But in digitally, there's no Alagbado. Digital means that the world is my village. And they've done fantastic things with those licenses. So what have we done? We've looked within those space and said, you know what? We have MFBs, we have MFIs that have big dreams, that have customers. They are closer to these customers. But most times they tend to lose these customers to the big commercial banks. Why? Because of infrastructure. While the big boys have so much money to spend and give to people around and to be able to do so many innovative solutions, they are constrained by the limited cash that they have. So the question for us in Interswitch is, what solution can we give to these MFBs, the MFIs, that can also make them play along with the big boys? They are not just threatened only by the big boys are like covering them to say, you know what, go to the rural areas, I will be there for you as a settlement bank. Now the big boys are saying, you know what, I want to come to the rural areas with you, right? So they're eating your pie. So the question is, how do we help them compete favorably while also protecting their close-knitted customers that they have relationship with? Hence the solution I'm about to talk about, our Interswitch Bank as a Service. It's a digital banking platform that allows, is a one-stop digital banking platform that allows you to be able to create your customers. It allows you to create different products for your customers, whether you want to create a savings account portfolio, a current account portfolio, or even if you as a fintech is also a solution that can help you create, keep some of these your ledger entries. I used to say sometimes the major challenges sometimes with some of the products we create, let me use the word for fintech level, would be you've created a fantastic product, right? And the UI UX is beautiful, and then this product then is supposed to then have a wallet, right? And in the wallet, what you basically do most times is you just tend to pass debit and credits, and there is no core at the back where the actual entries are being stored. So what happens most times is by the time you begin to do transactions and your transactions volume are growing, reconciliation then becomes a nightmare. Why? Because you cannot pick one account and drill down in its entirety to see that what have I done? What did Susan do on my platform today? Where is Susan history? Where is the debit and credit leg? All you probably do is just pass one-legged entry. And what happens? Because of those type of reconciliation challenges, you find that your money is missing. Why? Because by the time your settlement bank settles you, and you're looking at what you're supposed to have as an aggregate sum on your wallet, it's not adding up. But there is no way you have stored this entry to say that for every debit there's a corresponding entry. So what we've done in Interswitch is say, you know what? Whatever facets you are operating in as an MFB, we can give you this platform, which is a one-stop digital banking platform that can help you create financial entries. It can also help you to a fintech or an MMO. It can also help you store all your wallet value, basically. And then it's just the one, can also help you store your wallet value. And the interesting part is the fact that it is API-based. You're trying to go back before when you want to deploy such solutions like this. You're asking how many servers, how many VMs do I have to store for me to be able to deploy this solution on-prem. This solution is purely on cloud solution, and all you need to do is come to Interswitch, just say, I want a digital banking solution, and we can give you the solution, and it will help you scale. This solution comes with about 400 plus ready APIs. And what type of API are you looking for? Are you within the sector where you want to give loans? My friend Innocent talked about buy now, pay later, right? Are you in the sector where you want to give loans, and you're looking at, when I finish giving this buy now, pay later, where do I create all these entries, the interest I'm getting off this loan? Where do I, which GL do I need to call up to store this information so that I can actually see the income I'm making? Because sometimes we tend to keep this income on Excel sheets. And it's not just by Excel sheets. Sometimes you need a solution that can help you have a one-view report and also makes your reporting a whole lot easier. Do you want to onboard your customers seamlessly, and you want to be able to store the data of your customers for those solutions? We also have, it has that API that can actually help you. So whatever phase set you play, are you within the loan sector? Are you in the investment sector? You want to be able to create fixed interest. You want to be able to create any form of investment account. We have ready APIs that all you need to do is worry about the front end, would provide you the back end that can help you keep good record of those information. And then we then have the digital banking channel to say, beyond just giving you just one part of the digital banking solution, we can also give you all those digital channels alongside so that it's omni-channel. Today, we've gone beyond where you have to use one account for your mobile banking, one PIN for your mobile banking, another PIN for your mobile app, another PIN for your internet banking. The world is going omni-channel, whereby just one PIN I can use across all my channels if I choose to, right? So we're saying we can give you that experience where we give you the core infrastructure that can help you pass your entries, and then we can also give you any channel or touch points that your customer wants to reach you. We are in the world where people want things that are fast. They don't want to have to struggle to be able to innovate. They don't want to be struggled to be able to experience banking. So we're saying that we can give you, be it USSD, be it internet banking, be it mobile app, be it you want to do POS merchant acquiring or agent acquiring, you want to do ATM driving, and whatever infrastructure that you need, whatever payment instrument that you need, or touch points or channels you need to talk, for your customer to interact with you, we can give you the solution. What's the benefit of the solution? It is modular and highly composable. It is very, I don't want to use the word cheap, because the word cheap, it is very affordable. That's the word. So we're saying that we want to give you a solution that can also make you compete easily with the people that have big money to spend on big and on-prem infrastructure. It is cloud ready, right? So you don't have to invest in servers, invest in so many of the network infrastructure that today you ordinarily would need for you to be able to scale. And then it is legacy system agnostic to say, should you have all those legacy systems today that really cannot help you scale? So you probably have a particular solution. Maybe a solution, you could just say, you know what? I think my accounting part is fine, but where I have issue is more from the loan and investment part, right? I'm saying I can give you my own solution to work with your legacy system so that it will be easy for you. So you don't necessarily have to discard what you have, but it can work together for you to be able to still scale very easily. So that's that about our bank as a service offering. The next one I want to talk about is our payments as a service. So in Interswitch, what we've done is to say, you know what? We have various payment instruments, and my colleague and some of my friends during the panel, they talked about some of those beautiful solutions that we have, right? So what we're saying is for payment as a service, we're saying that we want you to come to Interswitch. I want you to come to Interswitch. We want to be able to help you with your collections, your disbursement, your disbursements, and whatever form of payment, transaction you want to do, we won't be able to help you. Today, for some MFBs and fintechs, they currently work with us to issue cards. So what we do is to put them on our shared infrastructure. Today, in commercial banks, they tend to have this solution on-prem within their environment. So we're saying, we would have a shared infrastructure that is multi-tenant, where we would create fintechs, MFBs on the platform to say, if you want to issue cards, we can help you issue cards. If you want to drive any of your terminals, POS, ATMs, yes, we can help you drive those terminals, right? In these days of agency banking and the likes, we can help you drive those terminals. And also, do you want open banking capabilities? CBN has released the guideline for open banking, right? And in these guidelines, what that means is that partnership like never before will begin to be forged. So we say, in trying to forge this partnership and in trying to be compliant with CBN open banking framework, we already have platforms that can help you with ready APIs. So the APIs are not just your just only create card APIs. You have full card management APIs. You also have payment APIs. So imagine the world where, let me just talk to MFBs now, where you have the license, right? And then you have a fintech that has so many customers, but probably does not really have the license to hold fund, but then wants to partner with you. Today, what happens sometimes with MFBs is that your platform do not allow you give out, your platform is not scalable enough or is not ripe enough for you to be able to extend some APIs to these fintechs, and which is one of the things commercial banks have done very well. They've been able to partner with fintechs to grow their business. And we're saying, even as MFBs or MFIs, you can do such partnership where, because of the fact that you have a platform that has APIs, you can partner with a fintech to say, you know what, I can give you my a payment API where such that by the time you are doing transaction, forward it to me as MFB, I'll forward it through to the switch, and that transaction will be settled. It helps you with such collaboration. And then you can also, it also has rich monitoring dashboard tool. So we're saying we're not just giving you one platform that you probably not be able to see what you're doing. It can also, for example, if you have ATM, it can help you monitor your ATM online it can also monitor your ATM online real time. So for us at Interswitch, what we're trying to do is make technology simple, technology affordable, so that everyone can build, create, and innovate as much as they want without funds being a constraint. So we're saying that for us at Interswitch, we are looking at an economy, not just for the microfinance bank, even for the fintech, whereby you're saying that I have a digital payment infrastructure, and you're connected straight to all these digital banking channels, and all my payment as a service channel. And the payment service channel, you can issue whatever cards you want to issue on this platform. You can also switch your card transaction. We can also help you with your collections and disbursements. And we also have reconciliation solution where today, again, I talked about reconciliation. I know by the time we start getting some questions much later at the back, I'm sure I'll hear a lot of reconciliation conversation, right? To say that we have reconciliation solutions also that can also help you ease this nightmare of reconciliation that you have. And we also have a fraud as a service solution, which is also a big, is also a multi-tenant and on-cloud solution, whereby today, more than ever, the fraudsters are getting more versatile. They're beginning to understand our ways. Before you take one step, they're 2 steps ahead of you, right? So there's no better time to have a fraud solution that can help you secure your transactions. So we're saying that our payment service, our payment as a service encompasses all the solution. So what we're saying is, come partner with us today and let us help you scale your innovation. Let us help you scale your business at a rock bottom price. This is just an example of the monitoring platform that you would see. You can see, it can tell you the total number of ATMs you have. It's showing if your ATM is in service or out of service. It tells you the transaction types that are currently happening on your system. And it can tell you if your ATM is up and down. This is just for example. So this, like in a nutshell, the solution we're bringing in front of you. I'll be very excited to partner with you, and so that we can begin to scale and grow. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Susan. That means I can just start a bank right now.
Yes, you can just
start a bank. For the comfort of my home, I can just start a bank.
Just remember to get a license though.
Maybe we can take some questions, maybe 1 or 2 questions. Do we have any questions? Any questions, please? Any questions? Okay, I see you now. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Uche. I represent, I'm from Sterling Bank. I'm the GM management. I create products for the bank. So I hear you when you say wallet system, and that's a very big challenge to most of these fintech product that is being channeled out currently. So I was just watching the platform, so I was thinking through how those APIs from the several services is going to connect to the core application. So are you saying that for every of your services that you have, you're going to connect every API to several APIs of the core application, or the way a particular ledger you're going to be created, or you're going to just connect direct to? I want to just know, because that's where the
So
challenge
there's
is.
a core application, and this core application has these various APIs.
Okay.
So as you as a fintech, what means is that you already have your front end where you have probably created like a pseudo wallet for your customers. But those pseudo wallets, we would help you then mirror it on the core application. But in creating those accounts on their core applications, you're just calling an API to say create accounts, get balances.
So for every debit transaction and credit transaction that happens for ATM, you have a report for it. For every credit and debit transaction that you have a report for each and every services.
Exactly. That's what you would do for you.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. We can take one more question. Do I have questions in the house? Okay. There's a question at the back. Just one more.
One more, that's fine.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Yema from First Trust Mortgage Bank PLC. I have a question on payment system. When you are talking about the payment system, I wasn't clear because this is the product we've been finding a way to talk to some of your colleagues about it. So we need you to shed more light on how it's good. For as far as First Trust is concerned, we actually have our own core banking application. So we just want a situation whereby we could leverage on the gateway to make the payment system seamless for our numerous customers.
Okay, so what the payment as a service will do for you, because you already have your core banking, what it will do for you would be that you'll be able to, for example, if you want to issue cards for your customers, you can issue cards for your customers on the platform. If you also want to, if you probably want to give your customers POS ATMs, right, we can also help you drive those terminals. Do you want to do collections and disbursements such that your customers don't just, for example, if you give loans, right, and you don't just want your customers to be able to just pay you with your just with your card only, they can actually also give you a payment gateway that can help you tokenize their other bank's cards so that they can easily pay you, right? And then should you also want to partner with fellow fintechs where you want to be able to leverage on their customer base and network, you can also expose those payment APIs, right, to them, where they can also work with you to help you grow your customer base. So we are saying that whatever payments request or payment desire that you have, we are just that one-stop shop for you to be able to achieve that particular goal. I don't know if I answer your question.
Are you fine? All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you very much,
everyone.
Susan. All right. Thank you, everyone. Put your hands together for Susan. Thank you, Susan. All right. So, like Susan said, you can wake up in the comfort of your room and start a bank. All right. So we have one more product that we want to showcase today. And I'm not going to take so much of your time in introducing the person. I'd like to call on Kelechi. Now, during the panel sessions, one of the panelists mentioned an enablement that was given most of the fintechs and non-card issuing organizations. So Kelechi will be sharing more light on that. Put your hands together for Kelechi one more time. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon all. And I hope you're enjoying the session. So I'll be taking you guys on a solution we call FinTech Card Issuance. Okay, just a brief background. I know before innovation or before technology grew this far, we're typically used to banks warehousing funds, deposits, debits, credits, issuance of cards. But thanks to innovation, we've seen fintechs have wallets that warehouses funds. And then with the wallets, fintechs have capability to hold funds, debits, and credits. So it means they are kind of doing some aspects of banking, so to speak, because bankers are the ones that are traditionally issue cards, so to speak. So the fintech card issuance solution that we came up with is to enable fintech issue cards from the wallets of their card holders. So typically what happens is, rather than the cards being connected to the accounts of banks, is now connected to the wallets of the fintechs. And because card is actually a more universal, accessible way of getting funds from your accounts, if you have a card tied to your wallet, you'll be able to use it on POS, web, and on ATM, rather than just the normal e-commerce that the wallet will permit you to do. So just like I had mentioned, our fintech cards issuance solution is a platform that enables fintechs to issue cards to their customers with minimum investments, but with all requirements of a standard process. So what happens today is our solution will enable you issue either Verve, Visa, MasterCard with the solutions that the requirements, standard requirements. So part of the benefits of issuing a card on a wallet is to improve customer experience, increase the customer loyalty. So by improving customer experience, with access to card and making payment, it makes payments seamless. So for a wallet holder, it doesn't need, the customer does not necessarily need to start looking for websites that can accept payments from his wallets. With your card, you can make payments on websites or POS, and even make withdrawal on the ATM. So we'll take a look at the transaction flow and the architecture. So see where Interswitch is placed. From the terminal to either the card scheme, Visa, Verve, or MasterCard, then from Interswitch, it goes to Interswitch and then the fintechs. So what we did in this solution is a typical, what we just did was having a connection to the fintechs. So rather than having to send transaction for authorization to the bank, transactions are now being authorized by the fintechs. The next slide will show us some requirements that will enable fintechs issue cards. So to enable a fintech issue card, so today, just like the traditional way of card issuance, the bank gets a license for issuing. So it gets a BIN for either MasterCard, Visa, or Verve. Because the fintech at the moment cannot get that license, the fintech needs to partner with the bank. So the fintech will require a sponsor bank. So what that sponsor bank does is to give the fintech either a BIN or a BIN range that cards can be issued off. Then the next one is the fintech is required to show an SLA agreement with the sponsor bank. So obviously, if you are partnering with a bank, you need to have an agreement. And for Interswitch to do a fintech card issuance implementation for you, we need to see that agreement between you and the partner bank. Then the next one is a BIN range, just like I had mentioned. A BIN is issued, and then that BIN is what is being configured to the fintech at the switch. So that BIN belongs to a sponsor bank, but what we do with this solution is to configure that BIN to the fintech. So when a transaction comes on that BIN, we just identify it as the fintech and send it to the fintech rather than sending it to the bank for authorization. The other ones will include, fintech will be able to fulfill card management functionalities. So the likes of PIN block, card creation, card deactivation. The fintech should have capabilities to do that as well. The customer's card balance will be stored with the fintech, which is what the fintech does today, anyways, with the wallets. Fintech will be responsible for the actual transaction authorization and debits. So what we mean is we'll be able to connect to the fintech to authorize the transactions whenever transactions happen. So if a fintech card does a transaction on either POS, web, or ATM, Interswitch will send that transaction to the fintech to debit the customer or provide or just confirm whether there is available balance in the customer's wallet to enable them respond to whether approving the transaction or declining the transaction, and that's what we mean. Sponsor banks are required to onboard their fintech on Interswitch dispute platform. So part of what the sponsor bank will do is to grant access to these fintechs to be able to respond to disputes or raise disputes, since the fintechs are now doing practically what the banks used to do. So for settlement operation, just like I had mentioned, fintech have a nominated financial institution which will serve as a settlement bank. So your sponsor bank as a fintech will also serve as a settlement bank. So for settlements, whenever transactions are done, T+1, a position needs to be debited. So the fintech will provide a settlement bank that Interswitch can debit for that transactions that have been done using their cards. And transactions, this is just showing the time that we do settlements. I've also mentioned about disputes being handled in line with the card schemes, transaction type requirements. Thank you, and I don't know if there are any questions.
Thank you very much, Kelechi, for that presentation. Okay, so do we have questions, please? All right.
Good afternoon. My name is Nasir. I work with Liberty Pay. My question, as part of the requirements, just a compliance question, please. Okay. You said a fintech that needs to get on this scheme should get a license, and then you went further to say that they can nominate a bank for that purpose. So, are you saying, or can we nominate a bank as an option for the license? I don't know if you get my question.
So I didn't say the fintech will need to have a license. I said typically banks have license to issue cards. So because fintechs will not be able to get those licenses from the card schemes, they will need to leverage on a bank that already has that license. So that's why you need a sponsor bank. So what is sponsor bank's responsibility is to give you a bin or a bin range that you can leverage on to issue cards. Because the sponsor bank is licensed by the scheme to issue, yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. Any question? Okay. I think I'll take this and one more.
My name is Lawal. Okay. Sorry, my question is, the cards now, is it co-branded or only with the names will be only for the settlement bank?
No, it will be co-branded.
It will be co-branded?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Any other question, please? Questions? I can take one more if there is. Okay. Kelechi, I think you've done a good job. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for Kelechi. Thank you. All right. So as we can see, Interswitch never stops innovating. We never stop create an enabling environment for every organization, partaker of the fintech industry, of the financial industry to participate and thrive. All right, we're coming close to the end of this session of today's event. Just to remind you, red carpet for the cocktail starts by 5. I want to see every one of you there. It's promising to be the biggest tech party you're attending this year. The only panel session we're going to be having there is with Alternate Sound and OK Bakassi. So come prepared to have lots of fun, entertainment, networking. For those that you're not able to meet people here, you get to meet people on a very social scale. And you get to meet those who came yesterday will also get to meet you as well. And I think we're coming to the close of it. So for the closing remarks, and before you go for your lunch, by the way, lunch has been prepared. We have lunch available for you. I would like to call on the Group Head of Sales and Account Management, Pure Pay Business Division at Interswitch, our very own Olubunmi Aino, while it comes to give the closing remarks. Thank you very much, Bumi.
Thank you, Nicholson. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to say, first and foremost, thank everybody for coming and attending our event. We started yesterday. It's very, very important for us to show appreciation to all our partners. From yesterday, the commercial banks, the PSBs, fintechs, microfinance banks, and other financial institutions. We won't be here without you guys. We made it thus far with the collaboration and partnership so far. What we would like to tell you is to please let us continue to partner together, journey together, never stop ideating, co-innovating, building, resolving issues, resolving problems. Because at the end of the day, That is what really makes us relevant as we journey through life. So thanks once again for always trusting in the brand, in the business, and trusting in ourselves. Because if we didn't trust in ourselves, we won't be here today. So to the next decade and more, thanks everyone for coming, and we look to building together. Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Lubumi. I know. A round of applause for. Thank you. All right.
Wow, so we've come to the end of this session.
Do you know why I'm smiling?
Why are you smiling, Wemi?
It's almost party time.
Okay, so for those of you who have cards, the agenda cards on your table, please do us a favor by scanning it. You get details and information about everything we've talked about today and more. So can we do something? Just pick up that card and just scan it.
Yeah, the QR code behind. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, I love this audience. They're so...
No, this audience is very cooperative. Yeah, yesterday's audience, we had to get mobile police to address them.
Wow, thank you guys so much.
I said nobody was leaving until you scan.
No food for you until you scan.
No lunch. Where is your scan?
No. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
This is a very, very interesting audience. I actually enjoyed the energy today.
I loved it.
They had their questions ready. In fact, I don't think we were able to take enough questions. Possibly we might have to send them a portal that they can send in their questions for those that didn't get their questions answered. And for those who got their questions answered, we hope to collaborate more and build more. We have online viewers, right?
Yes, we are. Our online viewers, you're not left out. Thank you so much for staying through with us for the program. I'm sure you've learned a lot.
Yes, there's a lot of activity going on online.
Yes.
There were some questions that came online as well that we'll be addressing online. And pretty much a lot is going on. So for those online, you're invited to the party as well by 5.
Yes.
So
will they be able to boogie from online?
No, they can join us. Eco Hotel is where it's happening.
Yes.
So you can come over to Eco Hotel, just flash comment for Interswitch party. And
Yeah. Alternate sound is going to be there. There will be the live band. We're also going to have
Okay, Bakassi.
Okay, Bakassi is going to be there. Nick Olsen is going to be there. I'm going to be
Wayne
there.
is going to be there as well.
He's going to be there. Yes, he doesn't know yet, but he's going to be there. Yeah. Just to also reiterate that lunch is served.
Yes.
Yes.
Lunch is served, so you just go downstairs. Okay, I believe you're being handed gift packs right now. The special Interswitch blue bags. And once you pick that up on your way out, just make your way out down the stairs and have lunch. There's enough to eat and drink, I promise you.
Yeah. Once again, on behalf of Interswitch and Interswitch management, we say thank you for joining us today for the day 2 of Interswitch Techconnect.
See you by 5.
See you by 5.
All right. Thank you for coming,
Thank you
everyone.
so much. A round of applause for yourselves, please. Thank you.
Our story blooms over 2 decades ago in a humble university dorm room where the weight of the dark put a strain on our hands, a stain on the sheet where we mapped out our plans. But innovation lit our eyes with a fire to blaze the trail, to change Africa, one solution, one transaction at a time. Our ears listened to the chime, the buzzing tune of bright ideas. We stretched out our hands, and remember what we did? We flipped the switch. We flipped the switch, it was no ordinary motion. It was to herald a new notion. It is a champion's charge, your invitation to stand on our shoulders. It is your time for elevation. So go ahead, flip that switch. Build that business, scale that hitch. Africa's future is waiting on us. And what looks like the sky is only the dew. We are on the brink of something new. Because at Interswitch, we never stop. So you don't stop.